experts have confirmed that the TikTok app has indeed ruined everything.
One thing we all know is that there is no trauma quite like a TikTok trauma. Those traumas inflicted on and documented by TikTok influencers and used by those same influencers for social media clout are by far the worst traumas known to man. Nobody in the world has ever known the sort of suffering that this group of poor unfortunates experience every day of their miserable lives. Case in point, take TikTok vlogger Jessica, who went viral over the past few days after posting a video to her 600,000 plus followers revealing the purported sexual harassment that she encountered at the gym. She also posted the video to Twitter along with this caption. This is her caption. She said, "This guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at the gym. This is why I'll end up crying on stream because I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. Hopefully this spreads awareness for girls who experience this type of treatment at the gym." In the thread below the video, she further explains that this man was staring at her for, quote, disturbingly long periods, and that this triggered her, quote, fight or flight response and conjured up memories of, quote, previous traumas. She emphasized that she's tired of being sexualized and just wants to work out in peace without anyone watching her. It sounds like whatever happened exactly, it was pretty terrible. I mean, obviously this guy at the gym, he's a pervert and a creep. He's lurking off in some dimly lit corner, staring conspicuously at her. That must be the case because the only other possibility is that this woman is a narcissistic drama queen and a liar looking for ways to entrap innocent men so that she can slander them on the internet for clicks. And that just doesn't sound like anything that any woman on TikTok would ever do. But let's consult the actual video just to find out. Here it is.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate when there's weirdos. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral, 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 like feral. There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people in act. Oh, this is nothing. Okay, we're gonna move on to the 35s now. I want you to watch very carefully. Just watch. There's the 5 adds £5. And these are the rates. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
Okay. So he glances over in her direction a few times for less than like half a second at a time, and then finally walks over and tries to help her put the weights on the bar, and she declines his help, and he says, okay, and then he walks away. The end. And they all live happily ever after. Well, I mean, he does, maybe, but she walks away traumatized, crying and shaking, barely able to hold herself together because a man briefly noticed that she exists. Now, before we analyze this incident, one thing you should know is that this video is one installment in an ever more popular genre on social media. There are apparently many videos of men, quote, harassing or, quote, staring at women at the gym. These incidents are usually captured in the same way. There's a woman at the gym filming herself working out for whatever reason, and in the process, she catches some man in the background quickly looking in her direction. She isolates the clip, posts it to the internet, and then shames the offender for his conduct. Here's just one more recent example that got some attention a couple months ago of this sort of thing. As I said, there are many others where this came from. In this one, a TikTok influencer named Adriana claims to have captured footage of a gym employee, quote, being a pervert and gawking at her while she takes her shirt off. And you may ask, well, what the hell are you doing taking your shirt off in the middle of the gym? We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, here's the video.
Stand up for myself, he threatens to call the police and revoke my membership.
Do you need something? No. Do you need something? Do you need something? No. Okay, I thought so.
Are you okay?
Keep it pushing.
If you're getting rude, you can leave. Nobody was looking at you any type of way.
This is why we need sex-segregated gyms. We just do. Like, male and female gyms, that's the solution to all this stuff. Because let me tell you something. No man at the gym, been to many gyms in my life, men are not looking for any kind of drama at all. They're just there doing their thing. And they're not looking for any of this. Just like if you're there and you want drama and gossip and you're looking for problems and you want to leave and have something to talk about to your friends, well, guess what happened at the gym? No man wants to leave the gym with that kind of story. Guess what happened at the gym? That's something that some women look for. And so we just need to be in separate gyms. Just do your own thing. That's what we need. In this case, once again, he looks in her general direction from what might add up to like 1.5 seconds total, although she slows down, she puts it in slow motion to make it seem longer. And this makes him a pervert, deserving of public shaming. He glances over at a woman taking her shirt off, whether or not that's the reason he glanced. She decided to do that. And he's a pervert now because of that. Now, let me just make a few points here. First, there are many reasons why a person might look in your direction while you're out in public. These women, because they're raging narcissists with a severely inflated sense of their own importance and their own physical attractiveness, just assume that any person who looks at them must be admiring their beauty. But particularly in the first video, I can easily imagine several other possible explanations. He might have been looking because he was wondering why the woman was filming and muttering to herself like a schizophrenic. He might have been feeling self-conscious because he knew that he was probably in the background of her shot. He might have been thinking to himself, she's not filming me, is she? And it turns out she was. Or he might have been glancing over because he wanted to turn with the equipment that she was using and was waiting for his chance to swoop in as soon as she moved on. Okay, he may have been frustrated because he's trying to get his workout in, and he's got this woman sitting there filming a social media video with the damn equipment he wants to use. You know, that is something that happens. I had this experience at the gym over the past weekend. I was using one of the benches over at the dumbbell station while there was a guy who was kind of lingering in the background, staring over at, it wasn't just me, there were other people using the benches, and he's like staring over and continuously sort of, looking, and then he'd look back. And I didn't assume that he was looking at me because of my striking good looks. I didn't even assume that he was looking at me and thinking, hey, isn't that the what is a woman guy? The latter possibility was much more likely than the former, but instead, I assumed that he wanted to use the bench that I was using. And then I got up and he staked his claim to it as soon as I was done, confirming my theory. So this is all very normal and fine in a gym. It's what people do. And nobody has to be publicly shamed over it. But let's say that in the case of these women, the offending men really were looking over, at least in part, because they found the women physically attractive. So what? Okay, that still would not constitute harassment, much less would it make them perverts. It would just make them normal men whose only sin is merely noticing a woman. This doesn't make them, this doesn't make them harassers, doesn't make them perverts. It just makes them men with functioning eyes is all it does. Second thing, here's a tip. If you're a woman and you don't want to be noticed by men, if indeed even the brief glance of a man offends you and causes trauma, then you might consider wearing clothing when you go out in public. Let's talk about something that affects millions of Americans every day: debt. It's rough watching your hard-earned money go straight to paying off credit cards and loans, feeling like you're just treading water. That's why I want to tell you about PDS Debt. PDS Debt is different from other debt solutions I've seen. They actually take the time to understand your specific situation and create a personalized plan that works for you. Whether you're dealing with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills, they've got options. What's really great about them is that there is no minimum credit score required. PDS Debt strives to understand your specific scenario and can help provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free. They'll help you save more and pay off your debt faster so you can finally start building that savings account. Getting started is easy. Go to pdsdebt.com/Walsh to complete your free debt assessment to see what options are available to you. Every day you wait, it's costing you money. Get started with your free debt analysis in just 30 seconds at pdsdebt.com/Walsh. That's pdsdebt.com/Walsh. Take back control today by visiting pdsdebt.com/Walsh. One of the trends on TikTok for some reason is for people to post videos documenting and explaining their morning routines. And the thing that you quickly notice if you watch a few of these videos is that people on TikTok, perhaps unsurprisingly, have a lot of free time on their hands. So for their morning routines, they wake up at a leisurely hour. They do 45 minutes of yoga, an hour of meditation. They go into their immaculate remodeled kitchen with top-of-the-line appliances that they could somehow afford despite not having a job. They make some kind of green, healthy smoothie, go for a jog, do some crunches. Then they go consult their personal guru who lives on a goat farm at the top of a mountain. And then they have lunch. And it's all quite difficult to relate to, especially as a parent. I mean, my feelings about yoga are well known, but even if I was inclined to give yoga a shot, I don't think my kids would stay out of my hair long enough for me to get a good yoga session in, or whatever you call it. Though they probably would enjoy coming with me to the mountaintop goat farm, come to think of it. In any case, we know that this is the kind of thing, it's one of the two main genres of content on social media, especially on sites like TikTok and Instagram. This is the "my life is perfect, look how happy and put together I am" genre. The second genre is the exact opposite of that. It is, in fact, meant to be a correction to the first type, though it ends up being just as bad, if not considerably worse. And that is the "my life is terrible, look how miserable I am, please feel sorry for me" genre. So one TikToker, a lawyer in Toronto, has made her own morning routine video, which fits into this latter category. She's been applauded for this video, which has been viewed many millions of times. BuzzFeed says that it's refreshing and makes them feel seen. Upworthy agrees that it's refreshing and honest. Yahoo celebrates it for being authentic and real. In the video, the 27-year-old woman shows us what her routine is like as a lawyer who is depressed as F. Watch.
This is my very realistic, non-aesthetic morning routine as a lawyer who is depressed as f***. Took me half an hour to get out of bed, so I was very late this morning. I admit I washed my face to wake up, but didn't brush my teeth. Too lazy for a base routine, so I just mixed some foundation with moisturizer. My latte also exploded in the microwave, very on brand. I have to contour my face to hide the fact that it's so bloated from drinking last night. I'm really not doing well, please don't judge me. I can't bring myself to give any more than I do, so putting my hair up millennial style, okay? None of that clean girl, slicked back bun shit. Honestly though, I don't care how depressed I am, I will not wear my hair in a ponytail like that. I put on some earrings though, good for me. I'm wearing Crocs to work because I'm sad. Please don't ask me why there's Tupperware on the floor. Okay, have a nice day.
Well, that was important information, clearly. And too depressed and sad to put the effort in to brush your teeth, but you can put the effort in to make a video and edit it and post it. Now, the comments are all raving about this. They call the video beautiful and raw and vulnerable and important and amazing. The lady simply just announced that she didn't brush her teeth in the morning, and these people want to award her the Medal of Freedom for it. And why? Well, because it validates their own laziness and recasts their own self-centered disregard as somehow brave and empowered. So let's consider a few points related to all this. First, brush your teeth. That's disgusting. Second, anytime you put personal information on the internet and demand not to be judged for it, you're lying because you do want to be judged. You wouldn't publish it for the world to see if you didn't want the world to make a judgment about it. If you really didn't want to be judged at all for the fact that you're practicing poor hygiene, you just wouldn't tell anybody and nobody would know unless they end up stuck in an elevator next to you. You take the time to record and publish the video because you want to hear the public's opinion. It's just that you expect that the public will have a positive, affirming opinion. That's what you're really asking for. It's not "don't judge me." It's rather judge me in a nice and encouraging way. But that demand is unfair and also impossible. I mean, once you tell me something about yourself that I didn't ask for or want to know, you've given me information that my mind will process however it wants to process it. That's not my fault. You can't give me unsolicited information and also assign me an opinion that I'm supposed to have about that information. That's not how it works. Second, we've all had times when we feel especially down and completing normal basic tasks feels like a huge burden. But those are precisely the times when it's most important that you complete the tasks and you do the chores and you follow the routine. If you wake up feeling extra depressed, you should be put even more effort into your mundane task. You should try to look even sharper and more put together than usual. The point is not to suppress your feelings exactly, but rather to refuse to become a slave to them. Fake it till you make it. It's one of the most fundamental truths of human nature. It may not be a catch-all cure for depression. I'm not saying that it is, but there are certainly worse treatment plans on the market, I'll tell you that much. Now, if you allow your feelings to entirely dictate your behavior and you use them to justify slacking off, not taking care of yourself, not taking care of your responsibilities, soon you'll be caught in this self-defeating spiral that becomes harder and harder to escape from. Not brushing your teeth in the morning is the first step towards that spiral, but it gets you closer to the spiral than you might think. After all, brushing your teeth is a very low-effort task that anyone can complete. I don't care how depressed you are. You let your feelings justify skipping that step, and soon they'll be justifying much more than that. Third point, finally. I get as annoyed as anyone by the "my life is perfect" genre of social media posts. But I'll take that over the "my life is a mess" genre any day. The former may be cherry-picked and largely fake, but at least it's aspirational. I'm never going to be somebody who drinks healthy green smoothies every morning or any morning, but I'd rather hear about that than have you tell me about your diet that's even more disgusting and lazier than my diet. There's a very dangerous inclination in all humans to take comfort in the fact that other people have personal habits and engage in behaviors that are worse than our own. That's why the "my life is miserable" genre is pretty popular. People are looking for ways to rationalize their worst tendencies. They want to be able to point at somebody and say, man, I felt kind of bad about myself, but it turns out that this person behaves the same way, and even worse, actually, so I guess I'm not so bad off. One of the most popular mental health slogans these days is, that I'm sure you've heard before, is, it's okay to be not okay. But I can't think of a worse thing to say to someone who isn't okay. It's not okay to be not okay. That's why we call it not okay. You might as well say it's happy to be sad or it's comfortable to be in pain. You should try to be okay rather than not okay. You shouldn't simply resign yourself to being not okay. You should aim up. This is one of the reasons why I despise all the efforts to so-called normalize depression. The effect is that now it's become an identity. It's become a lifestyle rather than something that you strive to overcome and conquer. Because nobody's aiming up anymore. They keep their vision fixed parallel to the floor, and they stay on whatever level they're currently on, or else they intentionally aim down. No, don't do that. Aim up. Put in the effort. Try to be better. Help yourself. Brush your teeth. That's my message to the depressed lawyer on TikTok. Also, as the segment unfortunately calls for, I also have to say, you're canceled.